Hi everybody! Zach Attack is here with my TNA Impact Wrestling review for tonight. Thursday, October 10th, 2013, of course, from the lovely city of Tulsa, Oklahoma. My thoughts on tonight's Impact. I didn't talk about for Glory in about a week from Sunday. Decent Impact tonight. We had a couple matches added for Bound for Glory. And speaking of that, as you would see on the title of this video, we saw a return that I thought was going to be a Bound for Glory, but he's going to be at Bound for Glory in a match, as we would find out. And other things happened. This whole AJ Dixie Carter situation got to a head tonight. And that's how we began Impact tonight. With the aforementioned president of TNA, Dixie Carter, taking charge since a nameless person, as she would say, I'm going to name him, Hulk Hogan is, of course, no longer the GM because of his contract problems. That's why Storyline quit last week and not joining the Dixie train. Choo-choo! The Dixie's like, well, she didn't even replace for GM yet. Basically, she took over the show and basically gave carte blanche to Bully Ray to name a match for AJ Styles, any match he sees fit. And he named his two boys in Ace and Eights, Nux and Bischoff, the two guys who still remain by him despite the Ace and Eights tension that's going on between these three. The last three standing in Ace and Eights. To name a match, and then those two would take on AJ, and that's the match that Billy Ray made. But then there's another situation that Dixie had to take care of, besides taking care of AJ making fun of everybody getting booed out the building at all. It's a decent crowd tonight. That she didn't want anybody to take control of TNA besides her, so she blah, 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 about getting rid of Hogan, that she didn't need him, blah, 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 and here comes Sting coming out saying, Dixie, what the hell's going on, man? Whatever the Dixie that I used to love. You know what I mean? And indeed, Dixie was ashamed that Sting booked himself a match against Magnus, of course, being the ego heel president that she is. She's like, I'm the one who makes the matches around here. And I'm the one that can also put matches in jeopardy. So tonight, you and Magnus, despite being opponents of Bound for Glory, you are still Main Event Mafia members. So you're going to team up against Egos, Daniels, and Cass tonight. And if you lose your match, the match of Bound for Glory is over. You two are banned from Bound for Glory. And your contracts could be up for denial. Like, your contracts could be up for firing. So we'll see how that main event went. And see if Magnus and Sting would have their match still at BFG. And of course, like I said, AJ would be in a handicap match tonight, made by Bully Ray. Of course, AJ was allowed in the building this week, unlike what happened last week, being kicked out and sneaking back in. So with that out of the way, on with our first matchup. Two men who would be in the Ultra X match at Bound for Glory for the X Division Championship, a Fatal 4-Way, which got a little change at the end of the matchup. Austin Aries against Jeff Hardy. These two have faced off many, many times in the past. And once again, these two did not fail. This match was pretty good. The ending was pretty insane. These two guys were going back and forth. You know, both these guys have known each other very well for wrestling each other. Of course, it was at Bound for Glory last year. Yeah, it was last year that Jeff Hardy faced off against Aries for the title at Bound for Glory. I think Aries is now a heel again. Full-on heel again. He played the heel part, attacking Hardy at ringside. And there was some nasty spots in this matchup near towards the end of the matchup. That makes this match pretty good. Aries did some sick-ass neck-breaker type move on the metal rope on Hardy. Kind of like Orton's Hangman DDT with an alteration. That was a badass little move right there. And then after that, Hardy came back with some cool little reverse powerbomb move. That was kind of a cool little move. And my favorite spot of the matchup, you saw AJ Styles deliver that killer Styles Clash off the top rope to Aries in the semifinals of the Bound for Glory series. I'm trying to think what was sicker, that move or Austin Aries delivering the brain buster off the top rope on Jeff Hardy. Wow. That was a killer way to end the match. 1, 2, 3 victory for Austin Aries, taking out Hardy with the brain buster off the top rope after Hardy tried for his big finish. He did attempt to twist the fate. He nailed the twist of fate. Going for the swanton, that's when Aries countered it. Getting him up in the air, and that's when he set up for the Brainbuster up in the air. Pretty good matchup. Maybe athletic matchup between these guys. Ending with that killer Brainbuster. But as Aries was celebrating, here comes Samoa Joe. Talking about Aries running his mouth, but him being the guy and blah, 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 and making himself into a match. Hardy making it into an X Division Ultra X match. Now Joe's going to insert himself in this. So it will no longer be a fatal 4-way for the X Division Championship, Ultra X and BFG. It will be a fatal 5-way. Samoa Joe, Jeff Hardy, not Magnus, Aries, Manic, and of course Chris Sabin. That should be a very great Ultimate X match. It's got great potential. And Joe laid down the warning to all 4 guys. Joe's gonna kill you. Joe's a former X Division champ. All these guys are former X Division champs. Hardy's first Ultra X. The other 4 have been in Ultra X's before. Saban was in the very first Ultra X match. So it should be a very great Ultra X match. So there you go. Aries gets a great win over Hardy. Decent opening matchup to open up with the great ending of the Brainbuster. Great moves by both guys, ending with that great move by Aries. And Joe inserting himself into the big match at Bound for Glory Fatal 5-Way Ultra X. Now, on with next scenario. Jesse, of course, one half of the Bullmans, was going to try to get rid of his problems. Specifically ODB, who pinned him in a mixed tag match a few weeks ago. Of course, the Knockouts champ accepted the challenge from Jesse. And ODB had things going her way against Jesse. But just as ODB was getting things into her way, here comes Lady Tappa, who of course attacked Velvet before a Knockouts #1 contenders match last week. Lady Tappa sent another message, this time interrupting the Knockouts champs matchup. It's kind of a silly match, but it kind of sets up Lady Tappa. I said it last week, and I'll say it again. Lady Tappa is going to get a title match. And now we realize, I thought it's going to be a one-on-one match between ODB and Tappa. Now we're going to have possibly it's going to be a triple threat, maybe a fatal 4-way. Because I'll explain when we get to Velvet Sky against Brooke later on. But Lady Tappa attacked ODB, causing this match between her and Jesse become no contest. And Lady Tappa attacked to do the same move that she did to Velvet last week, going for a big finishing move. Her 5-minute carry cutter, delivering a big message to ODB. I think she will get a title match. I guarantee. I said it last week and I'll say it again. Yes, so many people thought that the person that Lady Tappa beat over in the gut check should have got the shot. Maryse or something. Evelise or something should have got the contract instead of Lady Tappa. I think Tappa does something more because she's just physical. She's like the new Awesome Kong, but not as fat. So, there you go with that. Now, we have our next segment involving, of course, Bully Ray having a little conversation with his guys. That's when it led to Bully Ray announcing the handicap match despite their recent problems. You know, Knox and Bishop and reluctant members, thanks to Bully Ray's ego, he got rid of Devon, Anderson, and even Briscoe. And Bully didn't want to blame himself. He wanted to blame Anderson. Now on to this Eagle Hall of Fame ceremony with Daniels and Kaz looking kind of fly in their orange and blue suits, looking like something coming out of Dumb and Dumber. Of course, you all know that scene when Jim Carrey and Woody Harrelson, whoever the heck played Jeff Daniels, whoever played the blonde guy in one of those all orange and blue suits with the hats and the canes. And they were inducting their little boy, Bobby Roode, into the Eagle Hall of Fame, trying to outshine Kurt Angle in his TNA Hall of Fame induction ceremony to be taking place at Bound for Glory, or at least that weekend. So Roode came out looking like it was fake crying, even they don't call this group Eagle for nothing. They really fed their egos with their ceremony. With this little video saying that Roode wants to thank his boys and wanted to thank himself. And like I said, this Eagle Hall of Fame was a way to try to outshine Kurt Angle's Hall of Fame ceremony. And it's been advertised that Kurt Angle was set to return at Bound for Glory. It didn't say anything about, Angle's going to return before Bound for Glory to set up a match. That's exactly what happened. Kurt Angle came out tonight. I didn't think it was going to come out before BFG, but hey, Let's see Angle back from his rehab. And Angle delivered right off the bat, nailing both Kaz and Daniels, taking him out with German suplexes back to back while trying to hook the Angle lock to Wood, but Wood ran off before Angle could really apply it. And that's when Angle laid it down. Him and Wood at Bound for Glory. Wood accepted. So it'll be Wood and Angle at Bound for Glory. It was 2 years ago at Bound for Glory when Angle beat Bobby Roode when Bobby Roode was the winner of the Bound for Glory series. Even though Wood lost that match against Angle, Wood would eventually beat James Storm after Storm beat Angle for the title, which led, of course, Wood's reign as champion after he beat Storm and when he became heel that night. So, nice to see Angle and Wood take on each other again 2 years after Angle beat him at Bound for Glory. This could be Wood's redemption. Especially with this so-called revenge after Wood's Hall of Fame ceremony was ruined by Angle. So there you go. There's a little fake Hall of Fame ego. I do agree with Daniels on one thing. When Daniels was like, all these Hall of Fames are flawed. The Baseball Hall of Fame, I don't agree with that. But he said the fact that Judas Priest is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I agree to that. I like to add on to that. It's a shame that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, yes, it inducted Wash this year, but the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame still hasn't inducted Kiss, Deep Purple, Judas Priest, Rainbow, Dio, add the list on bands that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame still haven't inducted into the Hall of Fame. Motorhead. So I agree to Daniels on his point of the Judas Priest statement. That is true. Judas Priest needs to go in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as well as the other bands I just said. Now, on with the number one contenders match. I mentioned that Lady Tappa interrupted last week. The match took place this week. Brooke Tessmuck against Velvet Sky. Now, it's going to be a triple threat match. The winner of this match, Brooke and Velvet, would be added to a one-on-one title match between ODB and Gail Kim. So it would be a triple threat. I say it would be a fatal four-way and Lady Tappa. So I thought Lady Tappa was going to come out again, interrupt this match again, but she didn't because she already interrupted ODB's match. And Sable's becoming a real douche with this heel character. He covered Velvet's pigeons from getting loose. He's being overprotective of his little girlfriend. He accompanied her this week because to make up for not accompanying her last week when she got beat up by Lady Tappa. So this match, Knockouts match, a decent matchup. Of course, Velvet had her ribs taped up after the attack from Lady Tappa, which Brooke really took advantage of in the early going. Really having that broken rib area a huge target. Making this review is watching. I live in Detroit, so the Tigers game is on. The Tigers are getting close to winning the ALDS against Oakland, so I'm watching that right now, but making this review, I have it unmute. See if they win. They're winning right now, as of this taping, 3-zip. Anyway, so as Brooke was taking advantage of the ribs, Velvet tried to fight back and try to come back hard and try to get back into the title hunt. But it was Chris Sabin who costed her inadvertently the match. As Sabin ran into the ring and tried to help Velvet, that distraction, it became a distraction from Sabin, backfired. That advice section backfired because after after Velvet ran away from Sabin after that talk, Brooke took advantage of that distraction, wound up Velvet, 1-2-3 victory for Brooke, advancing herself into the title match between ODB and Gail at Bound for Glory. So it'll be a triple threat, but I predict it will be a fatal four-way. Just add Lady Tappa. I bet you that will be made official next week at the last Impact before BFG. Speaking of Bound for Glory, a big match that had big implications for a match of Bound for Glory, of course, Sting and Magnus, opponents, if they were to win the match against Kaz and Daniel, still coming for the anger attack. Of course, if Sting and Magnus were to lose, the match of Bound for Glory is cut from the list. And Sting and Magnus did try to fight in the early going in this okay, decent tag match, but Magnus ran inadvertently into Sting. They had a little miscommunication, which led to, well, bad influence. Kaz and Daniels really isolating Magnus in the corner, getting the hot tags in and out. It really delivering some nasty double team moves on Magnus. Proving my point that Daniels and Kaz, although I think, of course, Kaz and Daniels are going to be in a pre-show gauntlet match against the Pro Mans, Eli, and Joseph Punk on a road trip. By the way, they're going to have a little road trip from Tulsa to Bound for Glory, and also Ann and Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. I think those two may win. But I hope Kaz and Daniels get another shot at the tag team championships. They've been former champions. They proved, despite their egos, they're all a decent tag team. You know, they're great athletes. Kaz and Daniels. They're cocky, but we love them because they're cocky and they're great athletes. In fact, they kind of back it up. You know, and they're decent promo guys too. Anyway, after that, after Magnus got isolated in the corner a lot by Kaz and Daniels, and really getting beat up, Magnus got the hot tag, this thing coming in like a house of fire, taking care of both Kaz and Daniels, delivering some big stinger splashes. But then Magnus got back in, and Magnus really delivered the big moves after Sting setting him up for an elbow. Like he basically laid out one of the guys to get the elbow. And Magnus nailed the elbow. It looked like Magnus was going to get the pin following the elbow. But he wants to prove to himself he can win. Like you talk about Kaz and Daniel's egos being big. I think Magnus' ego is starting to grow a little bit. After the elbow on Kaz, he didn't go straight for the win. He tried to go for his cloverleaf move. That didn't pay off because Daniels attacked him. And since Magnus failed to get the pin on Kaz because he wanted to be cocky and get the cloverleaf instead of getting a quick pin, Sting had to blind tag himself in, setting up a Stinger splash onto Kaz and delivering the Scorpion Death Drop following the splash in a 1-2-3 victory for Sting and Magnus. Yes, the match is on between Sting and Magnus, but I think now, because Sting blind tagged himself in, I think it's going to add on to this Magnus-Sting feud. I think Magnus' ego's eating up. I think Magnus' problem about not getting the big win, and especially despite Magnus doing all the damage, he failed to capitalize on the pin. He should have just went for the pin instead of going for the ego move and winning by submission. He had the guy beat, but he wanted to act cocky and get that submission. So it's going to really add on to the Sting-Magnus problem and really heat up the feud for Bound for Glory, which is definitely going to happen now since they won the match. No matter what the outcome was. So despite the little ending with Sting blind tagging, Magnus and Sting wins. Their match at Bound for Glory is safe. Speaking of Magnus and Bound for Glory, of course, we all know AJ Styles will be taking on the title holder. Bully Ray at the BFG pay-per-view. Of course, Bully Ray had carte blanche to make any match any match for AJ Styles, no matter what, due to the ruling by Dixie Carter. Of course, it was the main event, AJ Styles in a handicap match against Knox and Bischoff. Bully Ray was at ringside, commentating, taking over Mike Tenay's spot with his fellow Ace and Ace member, Mr. Taz. Of course, AJ, knowing he was in a big numbers game against both Ace and Ace members, he indeed go for some big moves. I think he beat up Garrett Bischoff first, but then he made a little mistake. I think he kind of botched the move because Knox made a blind tag to Garrett. I think AJ botched the move after Knox tagged in. Like AJ was going for a side leg slam on Garrett. I think he botched it a little bit after Knox tagged himself in. And Knox tagging himself in really helped for Ace and Ace. Of course, the only muscle man left besides the TNA president, not the TNA president, but the Ace and Ace president and the TNA champion, Knox really took advantage, and that's when Ace and Ace really took forward, and they seemed to be unified again despite the recent problems with the quick tags in and out with Garrett and Knox really taking care of AJ in the later half of this little main event, which of course sets up more tension with Ace and Ace, as we would see by the ending, and of course heats up the Bully Ray and AJ feud heading towards Bound for Glory. But after Bischoff and Knox, after they're hammering on AJ in the corner, of course AJ ducked the move, and AJ got back in the game with some big leapfrog moves, and I saw this spot coming because AJ was held by Knox and Duck Duck Goose. AJ ducked it. Garrett got nailed by Knox instead. And then a little miscommunication, double team move failed. AJ got the other big moves, including the Paleo Knox in the 1-2-3 victory for AJ Styles, overcoming the numbers game on Ace and Ace. But as AJ was celebrating, he didn't have time at all. Bully Ray came in saying, "Hey, Knox and Bischoff, you didn't take care of the job. You didn't get the job done. Well, if you're not going to get the job done, if you're not going to weaken AJ before Bound for Glory, I'm going to take care of him." After the match, Bischoff and Nux did try to beat him up, but then that's when Bully Ray, coming out of commentary, pushed him aside and said, "Hey, you sucked! I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to finish it." And he whipped AJ to hell with the steel chain, whipping him with the chain, just really annihilating AJ and making both Nux and Bischoff watch as Bully Ray was taking care of business his way. And after whipping him again with the chain, AJ got back up, but he went into Bully Ray again, nailing a back body drop over the top and onto the ramp. And that's how we ended Impact, with Bully Ray standing up top of prone AJ Styles, following a back body drop over the top and onto the ramp. The steel ramp there. And not only did that heat up the feud between Bully and AJ still, and also kind of adds a little bit more tension between Ace and Ace, because Bully Ray was ashamed that Nux and Bischoff couldn't get the job done. It was 2-on-1. They didn't pin AJ or weaken AJ, so Bully Ray had to take care of himself. He got into a little altercation with Nux. He kind of shoved Nux. I think the tension between Ace and Ace is continuing. I would not be surprised if one of two scenarios happen. Dixie screws AJ because of their feud, or Nux and Bischoff screw Bully Ray. Let me say this. Somebody, I guarantee you, that at Bound for Glory at San Diego, somebody's getting screwed. There'll be some sort of screw job. Either AJ's going to lose the match because Dixie Carter's going to get involved, or Bully Ray's going to lose the title because Nux and Bischoff are going to finally say, "We're not going to take it. We're not going to take this shit anymore. And we're going to screw you out of the title. Because you care more about that and your little book than the club." So there you go. That is a TNA Impact Wrestling review for tonight. Thank you all very much for watching. With that in mind, you've all been attacked by the review from Zach. Of course, as I'm watching this, as I'm making this review, Lions are 1 hour away. Not Lions, but Tigers are 1 hour away from winning against Oakland. Because, like I said, I live here in Michigan. So go Tigers tonight. With that in mind, you've all been attacked. Once again, by the review from Zach. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, everybody. I am going on vacation Sunday, so I probably will make a Raw review, and maybe I'll be back by Wednesday, so I could make a TNA review Thursday, but maybe no more videos until I come back. Maybe. Thank you very much. See you later. Yeah. Go Tigers.